Old house foundation. Day 4 on the AT. I just crossed the Holsten River and headed northbound. Supposed to have sunshine all day today. Sunshine and clear views. So obviously this is just, a little tree branch, but it is what is connected to the tree branch that I find very ironic. I literally spent the entire month, every spare moment that I had when I wasn't working, clearing vines on our property in North Carolina. The piece that we bought is bordering the Pisgah National Forest, so it was, pretty much raw land, and I really enjoy working outdoors and being physical. Obviously, I'm hiking the AT, but I remember thinking that I will never escape these vines. As fast as we clear them, they will grow back. And sure enough, in my path are once again the vines. So, yeah, the irony in it all. Okay. There is obviously a lesson to be learned here that I'm supposed to be learning because here they are again. Y'all don't even know the huge pile that we have on our property that we'll probably have the fire department do a controlled burn because it would cost a fortune to remove them all. But I have literally cursed the vines on our property in North Carolina for the past month before I left because, man, clearing them off trees manually has been quite the feat. And I remember thinking to myself that, well, another good thing about my hike is that I will take a break from these vines. And they are still in my life. I still can't get over it. A woodpecker has been having a good time on this tree. At least I think it's a woodpecker. I've been hearing a lot of them in the distance. All right, see you further on up the trail. My family and I, my little family and I have a 23-year-old daughter. we took a little weekend trip to Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, and we went to Anakista. Total tourist trap, but man, it's beautiful I would say that if I lived in Gatlinburg, I would probably, if they had them, get a season pass to said Anakista, because they have a sky lift and there's several restaurants up there, and different bluegrass and folk music groups play up there, and the views are amazing. Thinking about the vines, they had some beautiful handmade art that locals had made out of these said vines, and so there is a lot of beauty in them, and obviously a lesson to be learned on my part about the vines. I'm probably about 2 miles in. I'm just doing 10 miles today. I will say that the burn on my leg, you know, thinking about it, is definitely still to me a blessing in disguise, because I have a tendency to overdo it and not pace myself. And I could probably say without a shadow of a doubt, because these last 2 days have been really beautiful, that I would have pushed myself with my mileage. And so the wound care situation has definitely forced me to keep my mileage down, which that's important to do when you're starting off on a through hike or any long distance hike, that for that matter. Even if you're a long distance runner, you know, when I used to run marathons, which I was never a really super fast runner, I was always kind of middle of the pack. You know, hammering out a 20-mile long run for training is a lot different than carrying a pack on your back that weighs between, 25, 30 pounds, loaded down with food and everything you need, up and down, elevation, ascending, descending. It's a different type of athleticism. So I definitely, knew that going in, and I, didn't get the opportunity to do a lot of shakedown hikes. And what I mean by that is, going out on the trail with all your gear for a couple nights, maybe even a week, just kind of figure things out, making sure everything works for you, making any changes that you need to make before you head out for your through hike. And so I literally did not know that I was going to be through hiking this year. It is something that just happened. So I had less than 3 months, honestly less than a month when I think about it, to fully prepare for it, because it was something that I was entertaining in my mind, but I hadn't really committed to it until a month before I left. And so yeah, I definitely knew that I had to take it easy. And it's one thing to say that and know that, but in the excitement of the moment and the beauty of the surroundings, I am the type of person that likes to push through, because I just want to see what's over that next ridge. And I tell myself, just one more mile. Just one more mile, just one more mile. And, that's where injuries happen and accidents happen, because you're overtired you're not thinking clearly. So obviously the burn to me is a blessing in disguise. And you know, I've had some people say, well, that's gonna leave a mark. You know what? If it scars, that'll be the best scar I've ever had, with a nice story to tell behind it. But yeah, this is pretty much the view today. That sure is a pretty view. I think I'm gonna sit down on one of these logs and take a little break and enjoy the view and have a snack, and then head on up the trail. Some major storms have ripped through this section for sure. I don't know if this was the same storm that blew through when I was on Mount Rogers or not, but this entire section today, there have been trees down everywhere across the trail. So be careful out there. That one just snapped in half. Good grief. If ever there was a section to keep an eye out for widowmakers, this would be the section. Definitely not keep an eye out, but keep an ear out. There are lots of trees covering the trail up here. The trail has been partially maintained in this section because I did see several trees that were cut up and moved to the side, so they're trying to clean it up, but it looks like the damage up here was so extensive. Man, it's literally been like this for a mile. All right, I'm about 3 miles from the partnership shelter. I'm telling you what, this weather has been absolutely perfect. I think the highs today were in the low 60s. And I am not wearing a jacket right now, which is nice. It's still not so hot that I'm sweating underneath my bandage, because when that happens it gets ridiculously itchy. The nerve endings were definitely talking to me last night. I'll have moments where there's no pain, and then moments where it hurts so bad I can barely stand it. But I just don't want to take, ibuprofen unless it's absolutely necessary. So I've just been kind of pushing through it, and right now I don't feel it at all. Of course, the blister is still there, so we'll see what happens when those resolve themselves on their own. I'm just gonna let that skin continue to heal below that blister, so when it does happen, it won't hurt as bad. But, Trucking right along today. It is warming up out here, but you know, one of the positive things about starting as a flip-flop through hiker, you get to see some of the views that you probably wouldn't see if you were, you know, starting, you know, in March or April in Springer Mountain, because, you know, there are no leaves on the trees. But I've been following this ridgeline for quite a bit right now, and I gotta tell you, the views have been nice. Rural Northern Virginia is beautiful. Rural anywhere to me is beautiful, but just walking along this ridgeline and being able to see the valleys down below, it's nice. Still have not seen one person on the trail today. When I signed the registration box earlier this morning, I did see that there were, I think, 2 through hikers that signed in. One signed in a couple days ago, and then there was another one last week. So they are probably through hikers that maybe started in Springer Mountain in January, or they're doing the same thing I'm doing, through hiking, but doing a flip-flop. So I'm excited to see the partnership shelter because I've heard great things about it. It's one of the nicer shelters in Virginia. This has just been a beautiful day. Wow, it just continues on with all the trees down on the trail. Let me go up over here. Let's go around this. Again, I have passed many trees that were already cut up, so, you know, it's a lot of work cleaning all this up. So make sure you thank anybody you know or that you see that maintains the trail, because they keep it beautiful for us. Trail is really dry up here today anyways. I'm glad that I filled up on enough water for the day before I checked off these miles, because it is dry as a bone. And it's been very warm. Well, I wouldn't say very warm, but it's definitely heating up, at least my body temperature is. This is the one spring that has been on this section barely a trickle. So yeah, it's very dry up here. Again, I'm glad that I filled up on my water before I headed up here. Basically no water. Really not even enough to try to filter more trees down. This is a stark difference than what I experienced in Grayson Highlands. There was obviously plenty of water. So I am going to turn this off. Got to climb over this bad boy. When you find the golden ticket along the trail and you're tempted to pick it up and unwrap it and eat it, I don't think anybody would know. In the heat of the summer, this would be some much welcomed shade for sure. I hear water and that makes me happy because I'm really thirsty. Yay! Okay. Finally something I can filter because I am out of water. Perfect. All right. I think I see the partnership shelter up ahead. Boy, it's pretty through here. There is I don't think you can see it through the trees, but there's a small pond down there. This is pretty. If I could bottle up that scent of pine that I'm smelling right now, this is a pretty shelter. Yeah, there's a pond down there. need to watch my step. Oh, this is a very nice shelter. So, has a shower. Let's go up the steps. All right, I just hiked 10 miles and got to a partnership shelter in Virginia and took my bandage off because it was itching really bad. And I gotta tell you, it's not hurting too bad. I would say it's like 2 out of 10, but man, it's uncomfortable to say the least. And one of the blisters did pop. So my husband is on his way to pick me up to bring me back to the camper. And yeah, this is the end of day 4 for me. I'm going to take a couple of days off. I got to wash some clothes anyway and just let this heal a little bit more. It's starting to get really tight and uncomfortable. But nonetheless, I'm still having the time of my life. Just a little bump in the road early on. But just sitting here and relaxing and just enjoying myself. Thanks for following me. I'll see you all in a couple days.